Good noon everyone, welcome back to your beloved Drawback Chess Speedrun, the series that I always get a 100% win rate, absolutely invincible. And without any further ado, let's get into today's content. Today we're climbing from 3900 to 4000 rating points. The difficulty gap is going to be super massive. My kingdom for a horse. If your opponent captures a knight, you lose. Aha. This is an instant loss drawback, and even though I usually just abort games like this because revealing means instantly losing, if you look at my opponent's name, you reveal I reveal, reveal drawback to opponent. And now I don't make a move, but instead stay still and wait for him to reveal his drawback. There we go. Shapeshifter. Your queen starts out as a bishop. Whenever you capture a non-pawn piece, your queen becomes a copy of it. If you capture a knight, your queen becomes confused and doesn't know what to do, so can't move. e4. Even with an instant loss drawback, if my opponent is always ready for a counter reveal, I believe this is still an absolutely amazing game to play. e5. So the point of his drawback is to get his queen to capture my knight, which is absolutely insane because my drawback forbids my knights from being captured. What kind of pairing is this? Bishop c4. If I cannot neutralize his queen, I suppose the only choice is to take advantage while she is still just a bishop in disguise. Bishop c5. Queen h5. Forking two of his pawns, and even though queen f6 here would normally solve the problem, she cannot capture backward due to his drawback. g6. My opponent knows his drawback. Queen takes e5 check. Queen e7. Queen takes h8. It's funny that even queen f8 doesn't defend his knight, so he has to defend it with his king. Queen takes h7. As long as my queen is in his territory, there is always a chance to make progress. Exactly. That blunders a king. Queen takes f7. Checkmate in 1. That was an instant loss turned into a win. We don't have many games like this. Such a great start for today's speedrun. Second game, let's go. Jumpy. When possible, you must move a piece that is being attacked. Absolutely terrifying. Reveal drawback to opponent. d4. Okay, the game is already dead on the very first move. Now bishop g5 is attacking my e-pawn, which forces it to move, and thus allows my opponent to capture the woman. h6. Preventing bishop g5, but I've just realized that puts the h-pawn under attack by his bishop, which means I will eventually have to move it again due to my drawback. Who the hell thought of this drawback? Bishop f4. Okay, now I have to move one of the red pawns. This one. Knight f3. Knight a6. e3. That attacks my knight again. Knight c7. I have no idea whether these forced moves are going to end or not. My opponent counter-revealed, stir crazy. If you haven't moved your king 4 turns in a row, you must move it on the 5th. So he waited until all the pieces had been decently developed and then counter-revealed. This guy wants to play a fair game, but he lacks the necessary testosterone to do so. King d2. Well, it doesn't seem like I can attack his king with these continuous forced moves anyway. Knight d5. Bishop d3. Aha. Now at least my knight is not attacked anymore. h5 is forced. Thank God. But I don't want to trade. Knight f6. Even though his bishops can pose some decent threats, the real problems are actually his knights. We're lucky enough that this guy isn't very aggressive with his knights. Trading off the bishops is literally provoking him to move the knights. I'll try to delay that as long as possible. But apparently he doesn't want to. d6 is forced. He trades. Which isn't even a trade, because b5 is kinda forced. This is going very wrong very quickly. Aha! I completely forgot that he also has to waste a move on his king, just in time for a recapture. e4. That forces me to move my knight. And conveniently enough, there is a free bishop to capture. King f1. A rare free move appeared. Knight takes e4. I can't even think of a way to take advantage of opponent's drawback. My own drawback has already restricted too much flexibility to do such. Here comes the queen. b4. Queen takes b4. Here there is a pretty cool tactic of knight takes f2. Oh no, my horsey knight d3 royal fork winning the queen. But sadly, d5 is forced. Knight d2. Aha! As mentioned before, I am very worried about his knights. This is a good chance to trade off one of them. But there is no need to rush. e5 first. Queen b5. Aha! Finally. That blunders a woman. Ha! Had that been another move I would have doubted myself, because he can take my knight for free, which I cannot recapture due to my drawback. But on this exact move, he has to move his king. Knight takes d2. King takes d2. He takes d4. Knight takes d4. b4 is forced. Rook e1 check. And apparently opening up the e-file is the worst decision of this game. King d7 is forced. One wrong move, and now this game may go very wrong very quickly. Rook b1. I have to move the b pawn, may as well just give a check. Who knows, maybe he'll take with the king. Didn't happen. Okay, he has to move the king on his next move. Bishop b4. King d3. Very aggressive. Bishop takes c3. Rook b7 check. King d6. Knight b5 check. At this point I am very grateful that at least my drawback still allows me to move my king if he is in check. King c6. Rook on the 7th is very dangerous, as it will continuously forces me to move all the pawns forward. I'll try to remove it as soon as possible. Rook e6 check. That blunders both rooks. I'll take the 7th one. But then another one comes to the 7th. Fine then. King takes c3. Can't take that king yet. Have to move a pawn. Aha! At least he takes away a pawn. g5. And I've just realized how wrong that was. Didn't happen. Knight move is forced. A counter check. I checked him first, but his check is stronger. A fork. King a8. Now take my rook and blunder your king. Didn't happen. Aha! This guy is continuously testing his luck by putting his king under attack over and over again. And of course, he is bound to make a mistake. It's over. I cannot believe I actually won that. Maybe this drawback wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Final game. Third game was played at exactly 4,000 rating points. Heck, even some of my viewers haven't lived for 4,000 days yet. Stand your ground. Your pieces can only capture if they are attacked. Absolutely impossible. Reveal drawback to opponent. e4. e5. So the problem of my drawback is that my opponent can absolutely obliterate me with his knights, and there is absolutely nothing I can do because only my knights can capture his knights. And of course he develops a knight immediately. A counter reveal, shapeshifter. Your queen starts out as a bishop. Whenever you capture a non-pawn piece, your queen becomes a copy of it. If you capture a knight, your queen becomes confused and doesn't know what to do. So can't move. Same drawback as my first game's opponent, but this time it doesn't matter because I can't even capture anything. Knight c6. Maybe he doesn't know. He does. Knight h6. Defending the f-pawn with my knight. If knight f7 I can recapture. So of course he captures the other way. My only choice is to counter-attack. Knight takes f8. Queen f6. Threatening queen takes f2 checkmate in 1. Which he doesn't even care, because I actually cannot capture. Queen h4. Letting his knight attack my queen so next turn I can capture. And who knows, maybe he doesn't see it. So it's true he didn't see it, but at the same time my queen isn't under attack anymore. g6. Maybe he'll come back. Didn't happen. A desperate attempt. Didn't work. Okay, this game was doomed from the start. Had my opponent not known about the nice stuff, then I would have had a chance. Resignation. That was brutal, but still. 2 wins and 1 loss. Drawback chess speedrun today. 100% win rate.